Hello, everyone. I'm joined today by Nancy from Gitpod, and we're going to be speaking about development environments. Hi, Nancy.
Hey everyone. Hi Nathan. Yeah, so I have a question for you. In your team at Robusta, if there are new developers who are joining, how much time does it take for you to onboard them?
So you put me a little bit on the spot because I'm not as involved with day-to-day development in Robusta anymore, unfortunately. If I can tell you at my previous job, then it took about a week. There was a set of instructions for what you have to do, and you'd go through and you'd install a bunch of software and set up Docker and set up Minikube, install all this stuff, and then you'd have a development machine probably after about a week. And I hope today at Robusta we're actually better than that. But if anyone is listening to this, then maybe we're going to learn something today.
Yeah. So I remember in my previous jobs as well, it used to take me 1 or 2 weeks. So I'm going to take one project which has been Gitpodified. It's a complex project. And let's see what if we run that project locally on the machine. So we are going to take GitLab as an example. If you would have to run it locally, you would have to go through the checklist.
Wait, Nancy, sorry to interrupt. This is a checklist of what I would do if I was trying to run GitLab. Like GitLab, the open source alternative to GitHub, that's the project we're looking at. And if I was trying to run GitLab on my local machine, then this is the steps I'd have to do in order to set up a GitLab development environment.
Yes. So these are the steps which you will have to run. You will have to set the GitLab development kit. You will have to run the DB migrations. You will have to expose the ports for development server for different services. But let me show you, this project has already been Gitpodified. So if I'm going to click on Gitpod, by the way, that was my Chrome extension. And yeah, so now it's opening a new workspace. So every Gitpod workspace is a Kubernetes pod.
Just to clarify, so GitLab itself uses Gitpod to set up their development environments. So what you're doing is what a new developer at GitLab would do on their first day of work, using Gitpod. And there's a lot of Gits in there, but I think I get it.
Yeah, you exactly. There's a lot of Git, but yeah, you get it. Cool. So it's opening the workspace.
Okay, wait. So this is walk me through what just happened. So we just hit the Gitpod button, and this set up a development environment. Sorry, this spun up a pod running in Kubernetes cluster, and this pod contains the whole Gitpod setup, right?
Yes. So it contains the whole Gitpod setup. As soon as you open the button, you can see the terminal. It's already installing everything, and you don't have to do anything. Your gitpod.yml, which is a file in the root, which has all the, it's basically describes your workspace. It has all the dependencies, the servers, where you want to expose them, the Docker image. And as soon as you open the Gitpod, like basically the Kubernetes pod, the workspace, it just installs everything. As you can see, it's already been doing it. And when everything is being done, your 3000 ports should be exposed. It's still not served because it's still running, but it should be there. And the end result should be something like this.
Wait, so go back for a second. I'm curious. So we had that Excalibur diagram at the beginning that showed like all the stuff you have to do to set it up. So essentially, these instructions, someone at GitLab went once and they wrote that gitpod.yml, and that defines how you set up the environment on a pod running in a Kubernetes cluster. Back in the day, we had a Docker container that everyone would compile in. So this is like that Docker container on steroids and running in the cloud.
Yes. Just one thing, that it's not consuming your resources in the laptop. It's being all handled by the cloud, Gitpod's cloud. So yeah, that's cool. So Docker on steroids.
So this is the combination of two things. It's like a web IDE, right? And then it's also like a development environment fully set up, running in the cloud.
Yes. Right now, I've set up web browser as my preferences, so it automatically opens in the browser. But let's say someone wants to do the code in Java, in JetBrains, someone likes JetBrains, someone likes GoCharm, or someone likes, VS Code. So they can, set up that preferences in gitpod.io preferences/preferences. So basically, you get any IDE of your preferences in the cloud. Yeah.
So go back to Gitpod for a second. So we checked out the IDE, and then we installed everything. And then now if I would make changes in the browser, then would this automatically update the version that's running here?
Yeah, if we change anything in the code, we can instantly see the changes.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then does this work also for preview environments? Like, let's say a developer on my team is working on a new feature and he has a branch, and now I want to like check out the code and preview his branch all at once. Does that work too?
Yes. For example, this is your branch. So you just have to click here and you can just, this is a shortcut, gitpod.io/hash, and it's going to open a new workspace. And you can also collaborate with your colleague. You just have to share your workspace with that person and you can, collaborate in a remote setup. So that's also one thing that you can do.
So it's like a combination of preview branches with a web ID, with like a full test environment running in the cloud, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. I can see why this is useful. All right, so where can people find you? Where can people find more information to get started?
Yeah, so I guess you can watch, like, to get started, you can just refer to our documentation. Also the screencast, I'm working on the screencast as well. So yeah, that's pretty much. And always, like, the Discord is always there, our community Discord, which is gitpod.io/chat, where you can reach out to our Discord channel if you have any questions and if you want to contribute. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.